right, so now we have our guests for alternate facts, and they are
Darlene,
Darlene. Where are you from, Darlene?
originally from Windsor. I live in St. Mary's now.
Excellent, excellent. That's interesting because you know that Murdoch Mysteries was actually going to film in Windsor, and then they came to St. Mary's and started scouting it out. And
I
said,
did suggest that to them.
yeah, you did? Excellent, excellent. I thought I had something to do with it. Anyways, and you are, ma'am?
Kathy.
Kathy, and where are you from?
Windsor.
Well, Windsor. Windsor versus Windsor X, and now St. Mary's. Okay. So, you know how this works. I've told you in advance. I'm going to tell you a story, and it is either going to be true or it is going to be, as Donald Trump likes to say, an alternate fact. And you're going to have to determine the truth for fabulous prizes that we have back here. Some prizes that have been donated from our Ford dealership and a few other places. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have this story about St. Mary's, actually. Okay? So, most of you will know where the cemetery is right now. But prior to that, there was a cemetery located somewhat closer to the downtown on Elgin Street, and it is now a minor league ball diamond and playground, right? Those of us who grew up in St. Mary's might even remember that there was a roadway through the middle that about 20 years ago got taken out. It was scheduled to be actually reconstructed, and I can remember the time at council we were talking about that, and we decided, no, reconstructing a road in a graveyard is probably not a good idea. So we kind of just said, no, it'll make a nice bigger park and everyone will be much happier and undisturbed. But of course, you don't see any grave markers in that cemetery now. They were all removed. You might see some in either corner of that park. However, where did all the rest of them go? Did you ever wonder that? Well, I'm sure you may not have. You're not originally from St. Mary's, but perhaps some of you do. Well, I've got news on that. So when they removed these stones, and we're talking like the 20s, as far as they're concerned, they're just old stones, old rocks, right? So the neighbors were told, hey, if you need, to put down a sidewalk or you need a porch or something, come and take these stones. Well, fast forward to the 1960s, and a friend of mine who lives across the street from this park, his dad is digging a garden out behind the house right underneath his bedroom window. And what does he find? He digs up a gravestone. This 5-year-old kid is just, oh my God, I've been sleeping on right next to somebody's grave. There's a body buried underneath my window. And he has a lot of sleepless nights until his father does make an inquiry and finds out that no. Actually, it's just a stone that was taken out of the graveyard that is now a park. Do you believe me?
Yep.
Or is it, in fact, an alternate fact? Now, I know lots of people tend to believe me. I have that kind of a reputation in this town.
That's not even go there.
Anyway, so I want to ask you, is this the truth or is it an alternate fact?
Alternate fact.
Alternate fact. Now, what about the story don't you believe, or is it just me?
I don't think they would ever give the graveyard sites up. They might move the graves, but they would not just discard the graveyard markers.
Okay, sounds reasonable. I think, quite frankly, it's probably what they would do today, and you think it's true.
I think that they misplaced a stone. Somebody had it face down and didn't realize what it was.
Okay, so we have true and an alternate fact. But you, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Is this the true story? Is that grave marker actually underneath this kid's window, or is this just an alternate fact that I've made up? Okay, I think it's leaning a little bit more on the true side than alternate facts, but as here, we have a little bit of a dispute. So I always like this because I know I'm going to have a winner when I reveal that, in fact, this is a true story. This is a true story. In fact, that house was my first house.
You were the little boy.
I was not the little boy, but it was the first house that I bought in St. Mary's, and I heard it from a former owner that this story was true. So we have a shirt for our winner over here.
From St. Mary's Fort.
From St. Mary's Fort. Is there something, what color in there you like? Or?
Yep, I'll take that.
You like the orange, okay, okay.
Good color.
And for our runner-up, now that you've seen, what good things happen to people from Windsor who moved to St. Mary's, we want to remind you of that and give you that St. Mary's sticker. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for helping us out today.